We're not where you think we are. This happened when I was in high school. I was working in a convenience store called Quick Stop. A customer asks me when the store closes, and I tell him 1 a.m. How come you're a 7 to 11 and you close at 1 a.m. instead of 11 o'clock? It's not a 7 to 11, it's Quick Stop. Nah, it's a 7-11. There's no signage inside the store, so I suggest that he go outside and look at the sign. Which he does. Then some time later he comes back in the store and avoids contact with me. I guess we all have days like that. Back to third grade context clues. I work at a furniture and housewares store. My uniform is a black company branded t-shirt and jeans. I was also wearing a mask with the name of the company. I went to the nearby chain bookstore on my lunch break. The dress code here does not include wearing the name of my furniture store. As I was leaving, I stopped to let an older woman enter. She walked in, sort of glanced at me, and said, "Do you work here?" I replied that I worked at a different store. I asked my manager what about my clothes, says I work at that bookstore. Are two clearly printed names not enough? I'm apparently running to open a cafe. Alright, just a short story. Probably get marked as long anyway. Cheers Reddit, just happened not even 20 minutes ago. I'm wearing a tank top, shorts, ankle socks and Nike running shoes, carrying water and have headphones on. Okay, so I'm on a run, just getting some exercising done after slacking off for the last 2 weeks and just taking it easy, when I run down a road that has a cafe on the very end of it. I'm running the same route I do all the time, and as I'm running down the road, a car starts pulling up next to me, blaring their horn to get my attention. I stopped, had a drink of my water I have with me, take my headphones off and approach the car. Me, hey, can I help you with something? Them, you're late. Me, just in confused silence, trying to figure out if I'm meant to be doing something today. Them, you should have been opening the cafe at 6 a.m. Not at this time, it's unacceptable. Still in confused silence, I point to the cafe and say, you think I'm running to open the cafe? Them, you better be. I want a bacon sandwich and a coffee. Black and 3 sugars. Me, I don't work there, nor do I own it or have keys to open it. I'm just out jogging. They just roll up the window and flip me off from inside the car and speed off, leaving me just as confused as ever. Asterisk side note asterisk, I looked at the times on the door for the opening times. They open at 7 a.m. till 1 p.m. so no matter what, if they turned up at 6 it still wouldn't have been open, let alone at 2 p.m. Normally I wouldn't stop and just continue running, but I needed a rest anyway for a few moments and figured maybe they needed directions somewhere, but alas, they somehow thought I was running to open a cafe in workout clothing at 2 p.m. for them to have breakfast. Vest for days. I remember a year or so ago in Walmart, during the summertime, I would wear this denim 80s vest. Well, an older lady came up to me as I was looking through the shampoo aisle, and started complaining about how we don't have anything stocked. I agreed with her and said, yeah, this Walmart is trash. Doesn't stock for crap. She then had this dumb baffled face from my response and said she's telling the manager that I said that. I told her I could care less who she runs off to. She got more angry and said I'm gonna get fired. I said, fired? I don't work here, you bat. She then stood still like a deer in headlights, groaned and turned around to the next aisle. Good times. Lights are hard. Quick little story from today. So I'm in the front of a grocery store, not long after it opened, eating a small fun size of Funyuns while leaning against a pallet of water, keeping my distance from the main walking area since I had to take off my mask. Side comment not related to the story, while I'm leaning, a woman, no mask, comes up behind to ask where the soap was. I didn't even turn around, cause this happens all the time, and just say I don't work here. About 30 seconds after that, I'm watching this other woman walk back and forth looking at the registers. No one is currently manning them as they're in the customer service area talking. She walks over to me and asks if any register is open. I look up at the lit up sign at #4 and say, yup, number 4. She walked away and started unloading onto the belt and the cashier came over. I see this all the time at grocery stores. Do people really not understand what a light turned on /off means? G-bus. Pulling your phone out when you're working is against company policy. Lady, I'm 14. A bit of context, this was back in January of this year. I had just turned 14. The funny thing is my birthday is on the 1st of January. The amount of people with my birthday. You could probably count them on your hands. I think at this point I was 5'11" with a visible beard. I had people mistake me most of the time for a 16 or 17-year-old. Now my birthday had just passed, my parents are not the best with presents, so they just gave me money. So I went on the weekend to chill with my friend. It was like 12 p.m. we went out to eat, and my friend started talking about how he wished he could get a PC. Now me and him are close, I go to his house most days of the week. 3 to 4 times. Sometimes I stay over, we're basically brothers. I call his parents auntie and uncle. Same with him. He comes to my house, stays. We even have rooms in each other's houses. Now, he was born 4 days after me. I really wanted to get him something really nice. So he said let's go chill at my house. So I call an Uber, not to his house. It was to PC World. We get halfway there and he clocks what is happening. He says this isn't the way to my house. I assure him that we are going to do something very fun. Then he sees PC World and he asks why are we here. I tell him it's an early birthday present. I had to give it to him early as I couldn't go on a school day. So I tell him get anything you want, he goes mad, he tries to reject, but we all know how that turns out. So we are both in the shop and I recommend him something and tell him where it is. He goes to get it. I hear a lady clearing her throat. I turn around and she asks me where something is. I say I don't know. I then turn around assuming that was the end of that. She then starts ranting about how I need to follow company policy and not pull out my phone when talking to customers. The next thing she did shocked me. She lunged and grabbed my arm. Now the human reaction is to push her off. Now I'm 5'11" and she was around 5'5" at most, and she went flying into the PCs. There was a loud alarm that went off. One monitor fell on the floor and it smashed. Security came running to the scene. So did my friend. Now my friend is a little bit scared of confrontation, so he didn't do anything. I think he was more scared than me. She was screaming about how I assaulted her and that I pulled my phone out. She said I worked there. However, the manager shut her down instantly. It was very funny. I think the police got called in the mayhem. They then took both of our stories and started giving me dirty looks. They told me to call my parents, but I refused as I didn't want to drag them into it. But eventually the footage came and it was proven that she grabbed me first and I pushed her off. Eventually I had to give my name, but I was free to leave. The police did contact my parents. The good thing was the manager gave us a 20% discount. So that was good. The pandemic has been hard on all of us, Karen, so just to preface this, I, 19F, particularly hate grocery shopping and try to move through the store in my hometown as quickly as possible to avoid running into people I know. About a month ago, I went into my local grocery store to pick up a couple of things, just a prescription and a box of mashed potatoes to go with what I was cooking that day. This meant I had to make a loop around to the back of the store. As I went around, I heard a woman pushing a cart and doing what I could only describe as growling. As I got closer, I overheard her loudly exclaiming, "Does this store even sell hand soap?" To some other poor lady. The huffing and puffing and growling continued as I tried to avoid her, hoping she was distracted enough by the other poor shopper. But she caught sight of me as I was getting my mashed potatoes, and started chasing me down as I turned to run. I was wearing a black hoodie, black pants, and a hat, and the employees wear either white shirts with black aprons or black long-sleeve shirts. "Hey you! You work here, right? Where is the damn hand soap?" I froze in my tracks. "Sorry, I don't. How are you out of soap in a pandemic?" "Don't work here," is all I could muster as I picked up the pace away from this lady who, to this day, is probably still in a frenzy looking for hand soap. By the noises she was making, you would have thought hand soap was the cure for lycanthropy. I don't remember if it was a full moon. I bet she would have killed me for the last bottle of dial gold. Harrowing. Edit, thanks for the upvotes and silver, y'all. Might have to melt it down into bullets in case Karen transforms and comes after me. But I'm not a teacher. Backstory, I was part of the my course student council. Before I joined the school student council, I usually look like an adult when I wear formal clothes due to my stone-cold face and glasses. I sometimes act as a teacher whenever I report a lesson to my classmates. Now on to the story. Now I was cutting some art paper that is the base for our design when I felt nature is calling me. So I excused myself and went out through the teacher's exit. Usually I would got to the main entrance, but I don't want to disturb the other teachers who do their work, plus they let us exit just for bathroom breaks and a quick food run to the cafeteria. I didn't wear my school ID that time because the whole course, IT, shouldn't be available that day due to inspection day. So after I was done with my business, I decided to grab something down at the cafeteria. I forgot what it is, maybe a bottle of water. I was passing the so-called small bridges when two students passed by. S1, good morning. I stopped for a minute and stare at them a bit. I was about to say I'm not a teacher when they walk away a bit scared. They either feel embarrassed or scared because they thought I will scold them, or they realized I'm not really a teacher. I just remembered this when I was making breakfast. Good times, good times. I know this story doesn't have an angry Karen or police arresting someone, but I think it's a bit funny to post here.